Well, we got a special guest lined up, but a familiar face for this episode of Jay's Sports Bar. You're going to remember this guy from his time here at Boise State on the basketball court. Kobe Young transfers out, and now he's coming back. I mean, nothing should surprise us in the world of college athletics anymore, but hold on just a minute. It's not to play basketball.
No, sir, it's to play football.
To play football. You announced this not that long ago. Take us behind this decision. You're coming back to play a game that you once starred at in high school, ready to try your hand at it in college.
No, yeah. I mean, first I just want to thank God because, you know, that this is all his work. You know, I was sitting in my, last college, and I was just sitting there. I was kind of just burned out from basketball, and I was like, you know, I was good at football. I have Coach D's number from last summer before I transferred out. And I was like, you know, I'm just going to shoot him a text. And, you know, I texted him, and he got back to me, and he was like, we need a receiver right now. And he wanted me to come out and, you know, do a workout, and it went well. And I got an offer to come back to play football. So, yeah.
That's simple.
Yeah. I mean,
that's a remarkable story. And I think when you start to understand Kobe's high school career a little bit better, you're going to understand why maybe it didn't work out for football initially, but now maybe the time is better than ever. But kind of going back to this, so about a year ago, you decided to enter the transfer portal and leave Boise State. You were an impact player on an NCAA tournament Bronco team, but maybe looking for a little bit more of a role. In between transfers, though, you did go out to a couple of Boise State football practices. What was that about?
You know, so when I went and talked to Leon at the end of the year, he was like, you know what, you should stay here and play football. And I was like, you know, I love that idea, but I had recently broken my pinky against the Air Force. So it was kind of hard to do a workout and catch some balls and stuff. So I was kind of just there watching, and how the schedule worked out was I wouldn't be cleared until a little bit later in their portal window, so which means that was super late in the basketball window as well. So, you know, I didn't want to wait and then possibly they pick up more receivers from the portal and they don't need me, and then I lose, you know, the chance to go and keep playing college sports as well. So I decided to make, you know, the best choice for me at the time and go play more college hoops. And, you know, my time down in Fullerton, I loved it. I loved the staff. I loved the team. I learned a lot. And just towards the end of the year, you know, I was like, you know what? I just want to play football again, you know? I just want to give it that shot, and now we're here.
Tell us a little bit about your football past. And it's funny because, you know, any intense member of Bronco Nation is going to hype up the fact that you were a good high school football player. But I also think there's a lot of people out there that are scratching their heads right now like, how's he just going to pick it up? But you do have a football history.
Yeah.
Not an extensive one necessarily, but what is it? Tell us a little bit about your past on the gridiron.
Yeah, so I decided to play football my sophomore year of high school. One of my friends bet me $25 that I wouldn't try out. And I was a high school student. I didn't have $25 at the time, so I tried out. That season went well. I had a bunch of offers and interest from Power 5 schools. So, and then most of them wanted to wait to see until my next year to see how I would pan out and see if I got better. And then at the start of that year, I broke my foot. So it kind of derailed a bunch of that. And then the next year, obviously COVID hit. So a bunch of players were able to return for roster spots. So, you know, I was just sitting there praying about it, and I happened to end up at a tournament where Leon was watching Cade Rice play basketball. I played against Cade, and, you know, they liked what they saw, and that's how I got my scholarship to come back to Boise State, or to come to here in the first place.
Right.
And it's just, I mean, I haven't touched the gridiron in 5 years.
Yeah.
But I mean, when I went and worked out with Coach Miller, he said that he was impressed by how good I was for not, you know, having on cleats for so long. So, I mean, that's obviously a good sign. And, you know, I'm willing to work as hard as it takes.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Let's dive into that a little bit. So the timeline here is you text Spencer Danielson, the head coach of the Boise State football team. He responds, and then all of a sudden, you're back home now in the Tri-Cities.
Correct.
And what happens at that point in time? How does this thing start to really evolve into not just an opportunity, but a reality?
Yeah, so at that point, Coach D texted me. He was like, you know, Coach Miller is going to drive out there and come see you work out. So we went back to Chiawana, had a workout. You know, he filmed some stuff, and then he sent it back to the staff. And, you know, they took a week for them to look over it, because obviously it's a big sacrifice. It's a big risk for, you know, Coach D and the staff. You know, that whole week I was just checking my phone. I was nervous. And, you know, I get that call and I'm sitting there sweating, and, you know, he decides to offer me. I just, you know, start to get in tears a little bit, just from, you know, relief and excitement to be able to come here and play on the blue in front of this amazing community, and just, you know, play the sport that I just felt like my heart needed to play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So who, during this workout, like what were you doing? Who's the quarterback that you contacted to throw you some passes here?
So my old high school coach, Coach Bond, he had one of his seniors that year just come out and throw to me. I mean, he was amazing, honestly.
Hey, good opportunity for him to work out in front of a college scout or college coach too. So.
Exactly. So I mean, he had me doing slants, comebacks, digs, some fade balls, and then obviously some like end zone jump balls. And you know, I did drop like one or two. I might have slipped like a few times, but I mean, besides that, I feel like I had a pretty good workout. You know, Coach Miller's biggest thing was, you know, we need to get you used to running on turf and not the court, because obviously on the court you can stop and cut super quick. On turf, you might slip. So I have to get back and, you know, just like the way of those things, getting back on my feet and like having that balance and stuff.
So, Kobe, how well do you feel like you know the game of football? And the reason why I ask you that is that it might be the only thing in life that I can relate to you in, because you're way more athletic than I ever was. But I didn't start playing high school football till my sophomore year too, right? And I played baseball my whole life, and I had these things called instincts on a baseball field. Yeah. And I'm sure you have those on a basketball court, right? But then all of a sudden, so I get to like my junior year, and really into, honestly, my senior year, well, I've been playing for like 2 years now, where you no longer have to look around as, you know, you're running towards the sideline, right? Yeah. And you look, you drop your eyes to look at the sideline off the ball because you want to make sure you're in or whatever. And then all of a sudden your instincts start to kick in and you just feel where you're at. Yeah. So like where do you feel like you're at in terms of that progression? How Ahmed Hosni, I'll relate this to him too. Like he just got drafted in the NFL. Yeah. He hadn't been playing football that long. But, you know, he was still raw, his instincts are developing, and because of that, nobody knows where his ceiling's at. We just know he's nowhere near it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'd say I definitely have a lot to learn, for sure, but I feel like my instincts are pretty, it's kind of like basketball out there, really. Like, as a receiver, the moves that you make, the movements and, like, the body movement and stuff, it's kind of the same as basketball. Like, a crossover could be, like, off the line as well on, like, on a DB. So, you know, I feel like as I go on throughout the summer, I'll definitely get better instincts. But it's just like a basketball court. You got to stay within the lines, and I feel like I've eventually learned that this summer.
So how quickly does this heat up for you? You get your offer. Yep. Now you've committed. What is next?
What is next? Now I have to get physicals. I have to go get my locker. I have to get all the paperwork done. I have to sign all my stuff. And then I'm having to watch film too every single morning. Just you know, just so like when the guys get back here next week, I'm able to hit the ground running. You know what I mean? So I'm already like a little bit ahead of some of the dudes that are like brand new here, but like obviously they've been playing football for a lot longer than I have. So I have to learn the formations. I have to learn like, you know, like certain calls and, you know, just like regular like football like knowledge that most like football players know. Yeah. So
do you enjoy that part of it? Like
I do.
Diving into a playbook?
I do. I mean, it's obviously challenging, but it's fun. You know, like I want to be there, so it's fun.
Going back to your sophomore year really quick here, you said that you immediately got interest. What like statistically did that year look like for you? And why do you think teams were so interested in you so early? And despite the fact that it was your first year playing football.
Yeah, I mean, that year was kind of just like my high school coach was like, just run deep and jump as high as you can when the ball comes. And I feel like, you know, I was pretty fast in high school. Yeah. And you can't really teach height and speed. So it was kind of like, they kind of just like threw me out there and like, all right, run this right here. And I would do that, you know, and it worked for me. I think that's what like really got like the interest of those colleges. Like I was just so raw, like you said, you know what I mean? Like I didn't really know a lot about the game, but I just started playing. So like nobody knew what my ceiling was, kind of like what you just said.
So then you go play one game your junior year, and your senior year is wiped out because of COVID.
Pretty much. I mean, we had a senior year, but like, there was no state. There was no like, you really weren't playing to like go to state. You're kind of just out there playing. And like everyone knows that like your biggest year is your junior year of high school. Yeah. So you know, with me breaking my foot in COVID, and the dudes can return from the COVID years in college, it was kind of just, you know, I feel like God wanted me to come here and play basketball. So that's what I did.
So you've transferred once before, and now you're transferring back. Is it nice to have familiarity with what you're walking into?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, when I was in this whole like process of, you know, the first time, you know, like there was a bunch of like unknowns about like the next college, but I'm coming back here, I know everything. I mean, like I know where the cheapest gas is at in town. I know where the best food is.
Wait,
at
hold
in
up,
town.
where's the cheapest gas in town?
Yeah, but I mean, like also like, I know the staff, and I know like what kind of people they are. You know, on like the basketball team, the staff was amazing. You know, the support system behind us was amazing. So I can only imagine that for football, it's the exact same way. And, you know, this community is so amazing too. Like when I hit the portal, I didn't get one bad text. I didn't get one bad like DM on Twitter. It was all like, you know, like congrats, like we're excited for you.
How much does that help? I mean, everything in today's day and age, everybody smashes the keyboard as a keyboard warrior, and everybody kind of wants to pretend they know somebody's situation better than the kid making the decision, right? And it's not always that easy. So what did that mean to you, maybe, and maybe this is a life lesson everybody can learn here, what did it mean to you to see that support, and how did that help facilitate, like, your route back to Boise?
Yeah, I mean, when I first saw that, I was kind of like, like, these fans see me as much more than just a player, but as a human, too. Like, I'm not just somebody out there who's, like, helping their parlays. That way, if I don't do it right, they're going to send me crazy texts. But, when I saw those, like, first, like, messages and it was just all nice things to say, like, that really helped me, like, like, want to be back here in Boise as well, because I know that, like, as I'm coming back, that, like, they'll welcome me with open arms, too. So, yeah.
When you left Boise to go to Fullerton, what did you miss most about this place? Maybe you just hit on it, I don't know, but, like,
I'd say,
what did you miss most about this
place?
place?
Like, the small town kind of feeling. I mean, like, obviously in Fullerton, you're in Anaheim. It's like Los Angeles right there. It's a lot going on. Like, here in Boise, it's just one sports team.
You're the show.
Yeah, so it's like everybody in the whole town knows where to go for the games. And, like, they definitely show out, like, really well. I feel like that's just the biggest thing that I miss was just the tight-knit community.
Did you ever go to any Boise State football games when you were here? I'm assuming yes.
I did, yeah.
Did you ever think, like, as you're sitting there watching, like, I wonder what that would be
Never.
like? Never?
I would have never
Never
imagined this.
never let your mind drift there?
Never.
Okay.
Never. At least not the first 2 years. I feel like my third year on the team for basketball, that's when I kind of was like, I can see myself playing on the blue. And that's, like, obviously, like, Leon saw that as well, too. So I feel like definitely that year was when I was kind of like, I can maybe do this.
What do you think it's going to be like?
I have no idea. I have no idea. It's all new to me. It's all foreign. It's all foreign for the staff too, because they never had somebody do this. So it's going to be a bunch of hurdles for sure.
Yep.
But I'm looking forward to it.
How do you navigate just this time? Like, who are you leaning on right now? There's, in everything that we see through college sports, I will say this: like, there are not a lot of people, at least that maybe I don't know, but are not only transferring, but transferring and switching sports at the same time. So is there, like, anybody right now you're kind of leaning on, or a past maybe success story that you've seen do this, or anything like that? Or are you just a trailblazer?
I'd say honestly just trailblazing.
Yeah.
I mean, like, besides God, I don't really know who else I really talk to about this. I mean, my parents are there, but, like you said, they haven't done this. I have a bunch of, like, old staff back home that I used to work out with for football. Like, they're, like, all new to this too. But I mean, they're all supportive of it as well. So I mean, it's all good things when I go and talk to these people about this stuff.
What did your parents say? And what was that conversation like when you said, "Hey guys, I'm a little burnt out on basketball, and I might want to move this direction"?
Yeah, I mean, my dad was my biggest supporter.
Yeah.
He told me, he was like, if you want to move home, we'll go up there to Fullerton right now, drive 16 hours, and load up your stuff and come home. And that was kind of like, like, they also saw me as much more than just, like, an athlete, but, like, as their son as well. And just hearing that, it kind of like allowed me to, like, breathe almost, and you'd be like, you know what, like, if I do want to step away, it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
And part of me was like, I don't want to step away from complete sports. So I told my mom, I was like, I want to play football.
Yep.
And she was like, well, you should, like, just, like, text Coach D. So I sat there, prayed about it. Next day I texted him, and then, led to this.
How nervous were you just sending that text? And not because Spencer Danielson's intimidating, because he is a very open guy. Like, I get that, but still, like, just like, I'm gonna try this here and see what happens.
Yeah, I mean,
knowing it could change the course of your athletic life.
Yeah, I mean, I was definitely pretty nervous, but I feel like when I sent that text, I was like, there's two things that could happen here. You could say no, or you could say yes.
Yeah.
And, I feel like he's pretty straight up as a guy, and, I really like, love that. So I sent him that text, and, I didn't think that by me, like, sending the text, he would, like, ignore it. So, like, when I sent it, I was like, okay, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens.
You've talked about the community here in Boise, fans, people. The cool thing about athletics at Boise State, and probably most colleges for that matter, is you guys are, like, pretty tight. Like, yes, you guys all play your own sports, but there are times you come together. So what did that look like for you with football players? Like, did you know who was the first football player you reached out to after you made this decision?
No, yeah. So, I mean, my freshman year, we had an all-athletes summer class, and it was all basketball and all football freshmen.
Really?
So I mean, like, I pretty much met a lot of them then.
Okay.
But when I decided to, make this whole choice and, like, this whole decision to come back, I actually texted Steph. Seth not. And I told him, I was like, I'm thinking about coming back. And he was like, bro, Coach D is the guy to text. Like, he's the guy to talk to. He was like, Coach Miller is a great guy. That like kind of helped me, like make like the whole like process easier for myself as well. So yeah.
How close were you and Seth prior to this then? Like, how'd you guys know each other? I mean, was it all that summer class, like a friendship spark from there, or what?
He wasn't there for that, but I mean, just being on campus as like an athlete, like you said, like during summertime, we're here for, 3-4 months, and we don't go home. So it's just us and football here, or I guess basketball and football here, and a few other sports. But I mean, you see him everywhere, especially during summertime. It's kind of like a little like ghost town around here on campus, especially. So when you see dudes walking around like after workouts, you see him, like float in the river, and like so it's just a bunch of like mutuals around here, and that's how we met.
So you talked to like Maddox Madsen or anybody yet? How's that?
Not yet, but I mean I know a bunch of dudes like Zion, like Andrew. Obviously he just left. But yeah, I mean like Talon, all those guys. I've known all those guys for a while since freshman year. So
it really feels like your class specifically coming out of high school got robbed of a lot, and now they know that you broke your foot your junior year, you got robbed of even more. So I don't know, how much is this is just making all that right too? Like, who knows what you would have done those seasons on a football field if there wasn't COVID and an injury and everything sweeping across the country? Is this your chance to see like what you could have been maybe on a football field?
No, I feel like it definitely is. I feel like God had a different path for me, and He wanted me to learn some lessons along the way. And now I'm finally here. I just want to, do what I was meant to do.
So what are you majoring in, Kobe? What do you want to do after?
I'm majoring right now in communication with a minor in business.
Okay.
My plan is to somehow get into HR or PR around, like sports teams.
Okay.
While I'm not actually playing. But the goal is to obviously play sports as long as
you possibly can. Okay.
And get money while doing it.
So do you want to would you gravitate back to basketball after this? Stay in football? Do you have? Is there anything like any sport that also like perks your interest if you like running a PR company for or whatever?
I'd just say probably basketball or football.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah. I mean, I do love baseball.
Ooh.
I used to play when I was in high school. I used to play baseball as well.
I might find you a baseball team just in case. No, football's gonna work out. I'm only kidding. Who's your baseball team?
The Mariners.
Okay, same here.
Seattle.
Hey, I noticed that most years, but this year we're actually pretty good.
Yeah, I mean that's how they usually start off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll take whatever success we can get. I'm just hoping they win a World Series in my lifetime.
Yeah.
Your family overall is pretty athletic too.
Yeah.
So you had a brother that competed in college,
right?
Yeah,
so I have an older brother. He ran track at UW, and then my little brother plays basketball at Stanford.
You have a little brother playing basketball at Stanford?
Yeah. Little brother, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So what's that like for you as a family? I mean, like to be able to lean on those guys.
I mean, it was definitely easy for me to like navigate the whole college process when I was in high school, just because my older brother had been there.
Yeah.
And like growing up, it was just straight, like competitions throughout the house. Who could eat faster? Who could eat the most plates? Who could, like.
Who won?
It was different every single night. I mean, like there'd be nights where we'd be out front on the basketball hoop and dudes would come in like bleeding and crying.
Yeah.
My parents were just like, well, this is what you get for having 3 boys.
Well, now I don't worry about you putting the pads back on.
No,
as much as I maybe did. Like you'll have the toughness there, that's for sure.
Yeah.
You mentioned so your older brother goes and runs at UW. You had a preferred walk-on offer from UW that probably would have turned into a scholarship eventually. Was there anything like why didn't you go that route at that point in time?
No, yeah. I mean, like he's about 6 years like older than me, so. When he was there, I was always there for his events. I just loved the campus. And, just my biggest thing was I didn't know about that, like preferred walk-on spot. I didn't know about the future as well. And, I think it was just like financially smart for me and my family to, choose basketball. And, I've loved basketball my whole life, and that was my first love. So that just like made sense to me.
Did you watch much Boise State last year?
I did, actually. I did. I had to support my guys.
Yeah?
I had to support my guys. Yeah.
What'd you think?
I mean, it was good. The new Vegas tournament was pretty interesting, but I liked it. Yeah. I think RJ was an amazing player. I can tell you that right here. He's an amazing player. I mean, 10 rebounds with no shot attempts, that's unheard of, and I love it.
It is unheard of, and he did it like multiple times, I think, right?
Yeah.
What was it like telling those guys that you're coming back? Did you break their hearts at all? Be like, no, you get to come cheer for me on Saturdays now in the fall.
I want to say I broke their hearts, but when I told the group chat, they were like surprised, like no way. I mean, RJ was like, bro, you got to come live with me, bro. Like we got to run it back one last year. So I mean, they were definitely, like happy for me, stoked for me, and excited as well.
Do you set expectations? What are your expectations? I mean, as we kind of said at the beginning of this thing, Boise State is in need of a wide receiver right now. I mean, they have some great guys coming back, but more competition is better for a team for sure. But so like, what are your expectations going into this season? How do you establish goals knowing you haven't played football in a while?
I mean, I really don't have any, honestly. My biggest thing is, like, I'm just going to go to practice every day and compete. And I'm just going to try to beat the dude next to me. And, like, if I play or if I don't play, I'm still going to be excited to be there every day and be part of the team as well.
You got a number or anything yet? Do you know?
I have no idea.
Do you care?
I don't really care.
Who's your favorite football player growing up?
Odell Beckham.
Okay.
Receiver, yep.
What would you wear 13 if it was Chase Henry's in that? So
Yeah,
I don't know if that'll work. Henry, that is. Yeah,
if I get a jersey.
You just need a jersey.
I was in a jersey.
That's probably the correct answer.
Yeah.
Why'd you like OBJ?
I mean, that one-hand catch.
Yeah.
I mean,
You ever do that?
I tried as a kid all the time.
Working
Out
in the
front.
backyard or whatever?
Yep.
Well, this is going to be an awesome story. I know that Bronco Nation would be stoked to have you back. And last year, there was certainly quite a bit of buzz when everybody kind of saw you hanging out at that football practice, wondering what could have been. And then you announced you were going to Fullerton. I think everybody's happy for you, but still kind of wondering what if. And now Bronco Nation and Kobe Young no longer have to wonder what if. This is actually going to play out, and we'll see how it goes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Well, Kobe, we appreciate your time. This is awesome.
Thank you, guys.
I'm really excited to see because we've heard about the legend of Kobe Young on a football field, and now we get to see it in blue and orange, right? And by the way, I always said that this shade of blue and orange it's looked better on you. Fullerton was a little darker blue, right? Still orange.
Yeah.
This is the right blue and orange. Kobe, appreciate it, bud.
Thank you.
All right, this is Jay's Sports Bar, serving the out-of-sports community.